Welcome creative friends, Edna Edie here from the Creativity Activist. I succumbed and bought not one but two new Simple Stories collections. So I'm going to do separate walkthroughs for them. This is the Open Road collection. I love a good travel collection. I am going back to America later this year. Little road trip up the Oregon coast, so I thought why not? And yeah, I loved the colours, love the colours, and I can never not buy the decorative brads when I purchase a Simple Stories collection. They come with silver hardware, which always makes me happy. This definitely has a open road trip vibe to it in lots of fun colours. So also chipboard pieces in a packet seems to be the new thing. Very happy about that. And they come just with the grey board on the back. So I normally go through and peel off all the sticky stuff because I find it easier to work with when it's not sticky on the back. Lots of tiny little pieces, which I love, little sprinkle bits, hearts, and then some little butterflies in the colours of the collection, and some words in varying sizes, which is good, little banners. And then 1 to 10 up the top here, which I really liked. And some more words and a sprinkle of flowers. And then getting into the larger elements, there are some trees. There's a petrol gauge. And then you've got your directions. Only one chipboard floral. And then I'm not quite sure I'm going anywhere where that animal will be, or I'm not going to be coming across that animal, I'm sure. And then lots and lots of little signs, which are great size for making travel journals, not too big, which is always good. And then there is this map of America, so I'll be spending most of my time here on the top west coast, and some little icons, a little world and some clouds. Lots of transportation and housing options in this set I found, and then general travel themed ephemera. Touch of florals, which is always good, and then just little travel themed ephemera. So I'm loving the fact that the chipboard is more plentiful than it used to be as well, because we used to get one 6 by 12 sheet, I think it was. So excited about that. And before I go through the paper, I got 2 bits and pieces packs. So on this side here, on the left hand side there, this is the Open Road bits and pieces, and it has cloud-like ephemera. Be good for building up little page icons. And some round ephemera, some little directional elements. Always love those. And I do love how they bring out similar shaped things that you can use on repeat across pages. Some butterflies, very similar across the different textures, which is always good, and some in different colours, all sorts of arrows there. And then we've got the paper version of the sprinkles, which I really liked, and then some hearts, and some icons in different sizes. These are like snacks for along the way. And then a big butterfly. And then, once again, little repeats. So some number plates. Not sure if Americans call those number plates, but that's what we call them. And some tickets. So I do like that. And then particularly in here, there were quite a few like roadworks, road signs, which is fun. never know what you're going to come across on a road trip, I suppose. And some directional arrows, so they were fun. And then just moving in to bigger icons, which I really like. Different sized icons. It's a bit of a hat there, and some sun and some baggage, cameras, and then getting into some different sorts of foliage, cactus. Not quite sure I'm going to cactus land, but all the same. And then the modes of transportation and housing, a caravan. And this I think is a rear view mirror. Not sure I'll be going on a Vespa, but I'm sure I can incorporate these. They're just, you know, fun pieces of ephemera. And some glasses, and then shapes with mountains. And then there's camping and exploring in focus. I won't be camping, but I will be going to lots of national parks, so it will be good to be able to include some of these for those. And I love the fact that there's some transportation themes too. Lots of fun. And some beautiful bright mountains. And then the bigger ephemera kicks on a diner. Definitely will find a diner. Definitely won't be camping anywhere, except in a Hilton, of course. Good times. Cactus. Might find a motel or two to stay in. And then the big journey. So that's all in the plain bits and pieces, or not called anything else except bits and pieces. And then on this side are the journal bits from this range. And the great thing about the journal bits is, yes, they have some big sentiments, new horizons or headings, and explore and roam. I loved those. But then they go into the same type of thing repeated in different ways, which is one of the things I really love about simple stories. So they have scallops with maps on the background, but they're not all the same. So they're different colors and different sizes. So I really love that. And then they will have the same icon, but they'll bring it to you in different ways. So I really love that as well. And then lots of the same but different again, little banners, which are fantastic for travelers' notebooks. Excited about those. And then some little signs. I love how they do the same thing but in different ways. So I will enjoy using those. And then again, same type of thing. We've got circles, but done differently so that they're not all the same, but they can carry a theme really nicely. So I really like that. And then a couple of numbers there as well. And same thing when you get into the labels, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 in those labels. And then some directional arrows in different colors. And then some tabs or notes in different colors. And then these are little journal spots in different colors as well. It's one of the things I loved about this range. And then you're getting into some of the bigger icons over here. So we've got a flower, a sign, a globe, same type of thing, lots of different but the same elements. Loved these with the geo at the top in all of those different colors. Can see those being used as headings. And then the old-fashioned motel room key. And then just mixing it up with these journal spots. And these are fold them together little pockets. Liked those. little tags to finish off. So that was the journal bits. Loved those. And then of course the papers are yummy, yummy, yummy. So I did get a 6x8 paper pad, double-sided, all coordinating colours from the range, but definitely some geometrics and sort of plainer papers, which is always good. Loved that salmony pink map. Loved that. The florals, whoops, coming through. So pretty much a standard sort of format for one of their paper pads, but definitely pretty papers. I loved them. Lots of map ephemera, which I really tend to use anyway. Really love these stripes in both the colours. More maps. So this will be nice to build a notebook out of. And then it repeats, so it has the same again. And then I did buy the collection kit. So in the collection kit itself, you get papers and the cardstock stickers called icons. And then it has a lot of the icons that we've already seen in a lot of the other ephemera, but some of it in different colorways. So you get that in an icons within the paper pack itself, within the collection pack. And then all the words down the bottom. So that will fold over for storage more than anything else, or you could keep it flat. And then I also purchased this cardstock stickers basics. It has more icons and words, the little tree line there, and I really loved these tabs. And of course I'm always up for a bit of rickrack. And then directional on the back, similar but stickers. Loved that the words were in cursive, and then more of these tabs down the bottom. I really use a lot of these tabs in my traveler's notebook, so I was happy to get the second lot of those stickers. And then the papers themselves, stunning. So we have Enjoy the View, which is a grid with the florals down the bottom, and then the pink and yellow on the back. And we have the beautiful butterflies on the green called Adventure Awaits with the plaid on the back. And then moving into the geo with the pink and orange stripes called Capture the Good. Love these stripes. A little bit of distressing, which I don't mind. Nice when they pair it with the colours. And then into Roadside Memories with the floral in the peach and pinks and blues and yellows. And then they have the map on the back in the pink, which is one of my favourite papers. I did really love this directional paper called Map It Out. And then it has like a newspaper print on the back. And then we get into a stripe on our way with the map on the back in the teal colour. And then we've got this sunburst paper, You Are Here, it's called. Whoops. And it has a very subtle pink in the wavy geo on the back with the tan yellowy colour. And then we have a United States map, Hit the Road, this one's called. And it's the one with the blue and green stripes on the back. And then in true Simple Stories fashion, they give you some tags. This is called Tag Elements, this paper. And then the open tags on the back without the large pictures, just the lines. And then we get into the 3x4 journal elements, or most of them. They're not all 3x4, but cut aparts is what I was trying to think about there. And it has a stripe on the back as well. And then you get into the larger elements, combo elements. I don't tend to use them in this size very often, so I will tend to use the back, which is a nice map. And then rounding out with the 3x4 and 4x6 elements. There you go, Open Road by Simple Stories. Hopefully I will be using this to record my travels this year, finishing on that beautiful green map. Love the colours, love the icons, love Simple Stories. Hope you had a good time with the look. Enjoy.